Welcome back to West Texas View.
We were talking just before the break about the Circle 6 Ranch Camp and the facilities. And is there anything else you want to say about the facilities before we go into some of the activities?
Yes, ma'am. Danny was mentioning that we can have some large groups, or a large group and some small groups, or multiple small groups. It was a funny story. 2 weeks ago, we actually had to have two large groups there at the same time, and it was lucky that we air conditioned the gym because they wouldn't have had a meeting room. They kind of got their dates mixed up on their calendar, and they didn't come on their weekend. They came on someone else's weekend, and so we on that Saturday night in particularly, we had over 450 guests on camp, and that's the most we've had on camp in a little while. And so it was we took time from our normal duties to help direct traffic and park cars.
Yeah.
But our staff, I mean, that's what we want to get to, is be able to serve multiple groups each weekend if we need to.
Well, talk about your staff.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, our staff, it's myself, I'm the executive director. We've got a recreation and guest services director, Danny. And then we also have a full-time food service director. He cooks all the meals. We do kind of some banquet meals every now and then out at the camp for various groups. If they don't want to eat in the dining hall, we can kind of cater to them. And then we also have, my wife works part-time in the office. She's kind of, if you call that number they'll put up on the screen, that's our office phone number. And so she's the first person you'll come in contact with. And then we've got our part-time housekeeper. She cleans up everything. And then during the summer, when we have so many more guests, we hire college students. And we try to hire just college students. Try to have an age gap between our youth camp and our summer staff. And so this summer we had 4 college students: one Midland College, West Texas A&M,
and UTPB.
And UTPB, where they were from. And so we try to recruit college staff to help us out. They're not necessarily camp counselors, but those are the ones that are filling in to help us do lifeguarding.
Because the receiving churches are the ones that are supposed to bring their own camp counselors.
Right.
But,
yes.
Yeah.
The churches bring their own counselors. We take care of everything else. We're facilities rental facilities camp, I guess is the proper way of saying that. And so we provide the facilities, and we can provide everything else. You got to bring your own counselors, your speakers and stuff, except for the events that we program ourselves, which is our youth camp, preteen camp, children's camp, and stuff like that during the summer. And so our staff is trained. We're certified in everything that we need to be certified in, and we remain in close contact with the authorities there in Martin County, and so they can, I mean, the kids are well protected when they come out to camp, and we do everything we can to make a safe environment.
And our staff too are besides they're great people who love the Lord as well. It's we have a great staff, we really do, and we look for those great college students in the summer too, and they're still out there. I know that sometimes it looks kind of dim.
The image is that they're not.
It looks dim, but there are some out there, and we've had some great staff, and we're really excited for next summer too, because it was a great summer that we had.
Right, and it's not. I'd be wrong if I didn't mention our volunteers. We wouldn't be where we are today without our volunteers. We've got usually about every year we run about 100 volunteers through the camp, whether that's like a Midland Christian. They'll come. They'll bring some of their freshman boys out to do a workday project, and you get youth groups.
Work days by the different churches.
Yeah, you got youth groups that maybe will spend spring break out there and help clean up the camp or whatever project. But we also there's all kinds of different like the Campers on Mission, Texas Baptist Men, Volunteer Christian Builders. All those groups are made up of people who have retired or have an RV, and they travel throughout. There's 33 Baptist camps in the state of Texas. They travel throughout those different Baptist camps. And stay there for a couple of weeks at a time, and stay in their RV, and they're just there to volunteer and to help serve. And so we get kids from children's camp all the way up to people that are retired that are volunteers. And so we're always, you can never really have too many volunteers. That's kind of where our camp wouldn't be in the shape it is now without the help of volunteers. We've got a couple that from she used to work in the school, so she worked during the year, and then during the summer she didn't really have anything to do, so they came out, and they've been here. She doesn't work for the school anymore, but she volunteers all through the summer. But it's a husband and wife, 2 kids, and then we've got a retired couple that live out
and
there.
And it's usually people who have had wonderful camping experiences themselves, and they want to make sure that this keeps
They want to give
being
back.
available.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And it's people with different backgrounds too. We've got doctors, lawyers, and stuff volunteer. Some of their time CPA. We're working with a CPA right now, and you've got people that don't even know how to hold a hammer will come out and help us build a house, build a dorm, build a bunk bed, whatever we need to do. And so it's just nice to see that there's still people in the world that are willing to do some good stuff on their free time.
And pay forward, because maybe they don't have children anymore.
Yes, ma'am.
Or their grandchildren aren't old enough to come, but
Yes, ma'am.
they're interested in it. Well, I want us to talk about some of the activities that we have there, and talk about some of the specialty camps maybe that you have, and some of the specialty activities.
Yes, ma'am. Some of the activities that we actually program throughout the year, we've got 2 kind of adult rallies, which it used to be called Senior Adult Rally, but we had a lot of adults that weren't seniors, and we didn't feel right calling it a Senior Adult Day. And so every April and October, we got one coming up in October. It's kind of a fundraising event, but also a good time. We do a little auction in the morning, kind of lunch, and then we have a special entertainment, whoever that might be. But we have like our men's rallies in February, just kind of a men's event, but women have been coming to that, so we're thinking about repurposing that. But then our different camps that we do are preteen camp, youth camp, children's camp, and then we do our RA camp, which are the boys. And we didn't mention this earlier, but we we still have tent camping. We actually have a nice little outdoor tent camping facility that's got a kitchen, outdoor bathroom, and stuff like that. But it's kind of where we keep
Is
the grass.
it off away from?
Yes, it's
rest?
the very back side.
So it's really more of a primitive setting.
Yes, it's primitive. But then we also had they didn't do it this year. They were kind of short on volunteers, but the Mark group or the Rock House group, which is a special needs camp, they've been doing a camp every year except for this year because they were kind of short on volunteers on their side of things. But we enjoy serving all kinds of different groups, and people. One of the biggest questions asked this day and age is about food allergies, and so can we cater to the food allergies? And yes, we can.
Yes.
If we always ask if you got anybody ahead of time. If we know ahead of time, we can cater to them. So
We're going to have to take another break. We're going to come back and finish this conversation in just a minute. Join us then.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.